Welcome to Season 2 of the Shekina Meditation Podcast, created by community members and friends of Shekina Garden in Pai, Thailand. Shekina communities are dedicated to creating free devotional spaces of Christian practice for spiritual seekers and travelers around the world. We post Christ-centered guided meditation each week to help you in your personal or small group practice. You can find episode show notes and other information at shekinacommunity.com. Hey friends, this is Ray, and it is Season 3, Episode 9 of the podcast. And we are very excited to be starting up our rhythms again at Shekina Garden this week, and excited to be thinking about beautiful things in the future, and just glad to be here with you. As always, our patrons are supporting this podcast. You guys, you have helped us so much this year. We are raising money to keep our community running, and your patronage is part of the way that we do that. You can find us at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast, and you can support us there. We have a community that runs with rhythms throughout the week, most months of the year, and we use your money to keep the lights on, basically, to keep things running and to keep things moving along. So thank you so much. Another way that you can support us is by rating or reviewing us on iTunes, or by sharing the podcast in some other way, like on Instagram or Facebook, on any social media, liking or subscribing on YouTube, sharing with your friends or families. You can always take a screenshot of what you're listening to and then tag us in your stories or in a reel. Up to you, but we love it when you do this. It means so much. It helps us to know that you appreciate how we put it into the world. So thank you. Today's episode is from the Shambhala in Your Heart Music Festival again. We were there for 10 days and guiding meditation each day. So you might hear some extra noise in the background because it's at a festival. It's an imagination meditation from Matthew 19, verses 13 to 15, which is Jesus with the little children, and it's guided by Neil. First, Neil will offer some exercises to help you find quiet readiness for meditation, to move you from one place and way of being into the next. Second, he'll guide you through the verses with plenty of space for your imagination so that you can build the scene and play with words and ideas. And third, this is something we recommend for everyone. We always process in some way. So for us, it's usually a talking circle because we have a lot of people. But for you, if you're by yourself or if you're with people, try a talking circle. Pass a stone or a stick around the circle and listen to each person. Or if you're by yourself, you can journal or just write a few notes about what you heard or thought about. You can make a voice note for yourself, just something that brings it into the rest of your day, makes it a little more tangible. Let's begin.
I invite you to find a comfortable position to sit in for a while. There seems to be a spare yoga mat here that's been hanging around for a while, or there's some spot here if you'd like to sit on something that's not solid concrete. Find a comfortable position, and then let's close our eyes and let's bring our attention to our breath. Just breathing normally and comfortably. Feel all of the sensations of breathing. Take notice of them. How does it feel to breathe today? Feel the cool of the air as it enters your nose or mouth. Notice how your chest and stomach expand. And maybe there's that little pause just before you start breathing out. And your body contracts as you breathe out. And then that little pause before you start to breathe in again. And let's move our attention from our breath to the other sensations in our body. Let's slowly move from one sensation to the next. Like the feeling of the wind on your skin. Or the warmth of where you sit, and the cool of where you sit. How does it feel to be in your body right now? Perhaps there are some stiff muscles or parts that are sore. If you need to shift a little or stretch to be a bit more comfortable, feel free. Or perhaps you'd like to take a few deeper breaths and breathe into those spots that are a bit sore to help them relax. And then maybe a bit of a sigh as you breathe out. We've set aside this time to meditate, so let's enjoy it. Let's be comfortable. Let's bring our awareness now from inside to the outside world, to the sounds around us, the soundscape. We're at a festival, and there are all sorts of festival noises. So take some time to slowly move from sound to sound, perhaps imagining how that sound is being made. Try not to judge. They're just sounds. Normal, everyday sounds. The purpose of these exercises is to quieten our minds and settle our hearts. If we bring our attention on the things that are happening right now, it helps to quieten our thoughts. And this is good to do. Perhaps this is difficult for you, perhaps this is easy. However much you can, let's try and quieten in our minds and settle our hearts. And with one more exercise, let's continue to do that. Let's engage our imagination. Imagine that you are seated and you are completely surrounded by light. There's nothing around you except light. The disciple John writes in a letter, God is light. In him there is no darkness at all. And so I invite you to imagine that this light is the light of God, and it is completely surrounding you. And as you sit, may this light also represent calm. May it represent safety. May it also represent confidence. And may it represent love. And these things are completely surrounding you. And if it feels right, if it feels good, perhaps you would like, as you breathe, to begin to breathe in this light into you. And with every breath out, you breathe out anxiety. You breathe out fear. You breathe out stress. And you breathe out shame. Breathe in calm and safety, confidence and love. And breathe out anxiety, fear, stress and shame. Take some time to breathe if it feels good. And let your body be filled with light. as we move to the second part of this meditation. Let's just sit in this light of God, with calm, with confidence, with safety, with love. Glowing within you and all around you. For the first reading, just allow the words to wash over you. Maybe use your imagination to build the scene as it unfolds. Perhaps imagining what the characters look like, the people look like. Like you're watching a play. This short story comes in the middle of a larger narrative of the life of Jesus. And it goes like this, from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 19. Then little children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought the children. Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not prevent them. For the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like little children." When he had placed his hands on them, he went away from there. What did you see? How did this story make you feel? Were there any questions that arose in your mind? For the second reading, I'll read a phrase and then read it again and leave space And in that space, I encourage you to explore these questions, if you had any, or ask why these feelings arose in you from this passage, from this story. Play with the meanings of words. Who are the people? What do they look like in more detail? Where have they come from and where are they going? Then little children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. Then little children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. Then little children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought the children. But the disciples rebuked those who brought them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought the children. And Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not prevent them." Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not prevent them." Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not prevent them. For the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like little children." Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not prevent them. For the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like little children." For the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like little children. When he had placed his hands on them, he went away from there. When he had placed his hands on them, he went away from there. I hope you've had a chance to explore, to dive deeper into this passage, into this story. And for the final reading, I encourage you to come back to that image of being surrounded by light, the light of God. And consider what these words mean for you. Perhaps what is God hoping to tell you? How do these words touch your life? Perhaps it's reminding you of something you already know. Or perhaps it's calling you into something new. Perhaps it's just raising more questions. Or maybe something else. For the final reading, I encourage you to condense down into one or two things what these words from God might mean to you. Then little children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought the children. Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not prevent them. For the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like little children." When he had placed his hands on them, he went away from there. As this part of the meditation comes to an end, perhaps you would like to offer a prayer of thanks, of gratitude for what has come up for you, or some kind of response, whatever feels good for you. And let's bring our awareness back to our breath again. And perhaps with a few deeper breaths, become aware of your body. Maybe you'd like to wiggle your toes or roll your shoulders, move a little bit. And with a few more deeper breaths, become aware of the sounds around you and the people around you. Maybe with a few final breaths, deep breaths, I should say. And as a sign of rejoining the circle, in your own time, we'll come back to a seated position and open our eyes, and we'll move on to the sharing circle.
Thank you for joining today. There will be a new guided meditation available each week, so don't forget to subscribe to iTunes or sign up for our newsletter to get podcasts delivered to your inbox at www.shekinacommunity.com/podcast newsletter. Also, you can rate or review on iTunes or sign up as a patron at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast. Have a beautiful week. Many blessings to you.